Wow, I'm really close. Let's see, back up. Oh, wrong way. Hey, I'm Chris Neuenschwander. I don't feel like I've never introduced myself on one of these vlogs, so I might start doing that. I'm Chris Neuenschwander. I'm a relief printmaker from Atlanta, Georgia, and this is my weekly vlog where I vlog my process throughout the week. So I'm going to do something that I haven't done since this whole pandemic started, and I'm going to write out a to-do list for this week because I've got a lot of ideas going on in my head, and I need to get my thoughts organized this week before I move forward, and so I can prioritize what I want to do this week. So right here on my whiteboard that I haven't touched in like a month or so, and I used to do this weekly, but first of all, B's being a dingus. Sorry, did I hurt your feelings? Back to the whiteboard. He was walking around funny and made me laugh. Oh, he's back at it. Sorry for the interruption, but okay. So I'm going to write down what I want to do this week. I've got a couple ideas. First, I have this idea for a hamburger t-shirt block called the Everything Burger. It's going to be like a multi-patty stack burger with all sorts of random things sticking out of it, like maybe like worm tails and fish tails and fish heads and just every, like kind of like a gross looking burger, but delicious and gross at the same time, very full, just with like random things hanging out of it, maybe like so many different things. So I'm going to call Design Everything Burger. 2, I want to carve that. So I'll say Carve Everything Burger. I also want to do this thing where I send a free print to anybody who sends me a self-addressed stamped envelope right now to kind of show support for the post office in these weird times, because the post office does a lot for me. That's what I ship everything through. It's very simple, very easy to use, and sometimes, in my opinion, more trustworthy than UPS or FedEx. So I'm going to do the same thing: design, free print, and carve free print. Another thing I have to do is I have to carve this turkey for a commission. Carved turkey. Feels like Thanksgiving, but it's not. And I also have to design a new commission, which is a tiger. Design tiger commission. And I also need to finish carving the doodle block. I also want to try to print that this week as well. So 2 more things. Finish doodle block. Carve doodle block. I think that's everything that I want to accomplish this week. Big goals, at least. So that's a lot. You may ask why I broke every project into a couple different steps on my to-do list. It's because I like to set manageable goals for myself that I can... Come on, B. B's looking for a spot to sit. So I like to set manageable goals for myself so I can feel accomplished and do something daily. And it feels good to check off the checklist. So that's why I broke everything into little like small manageable steps, because when you just say do this, do this, do this, do this, and everything's a big project, it kind of feels like you can't do it. But I know today I can carve off 2 or 3 of those at least. Carve off. Quit barking. I can mark off 2 or 3 of those at least. So I'm going to start going and doing that. But this morning, I woke up really early. It's only 8:45 right now, and I've already got a lot done this morning. So today's kind of unique, where I kind of woke up early after a weekend where I went to bed early. As always, I did another Noosh factivity sheet. This week's was about Australian mammals. And so you can see that one right here. Boop, boop, boop. I'll move out of the way. Kind of. So if you would like to download that for free, you can totally check that out. I got the link in the description below. And then, I think that's all I wanted to say. Yeah. All right. Gotta start carving, start designing, pick something to do first. All right, 12:13. So I did a little bit of a cleaning of the studio, got rid of all the last week's wood chips, vacuumed everything up, straightened up a little bit, and then got my ideas all consolidated into one place. And I sketched out my idea for the mail-in print that I was talking about, where if you send me a self-addressed stamped envelope to the address on the screen right there, do boop, 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 I will send you a print. I'm only gonna make like 100 of them, so it's like the first 100 people will get a print. This is what I've come up with. It is an owl dressed up like a bat. It says, "Beat hoot you are," because why not? This is just a doodle that I came up with. I wanted to have like some sort of positive message to it, and this is what I came up with. So I'm going to carve this out of a small piece of linoleum, and today, and print it up sometime this week. So now I want to get, I'm gonna be up here. I'm not gonna bend down the whole time. So I wanna get this design onto this linoleum block. So what I need to do is I've got it printed out to the exact size I need it. And so I need some transfer paper right here, just some graphite transfer paper. And I'm going to put that on the block, face down, fold all that over, and then trace it out. All right, finished. And let's see what it looks like. Looks like I got all of it. Oh, I didn't. I missed the U. So real quick. Bum, 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 bum. Y-O-U. A little too, I didn't pull the paper back enough. A little too high, which I could probably do this. I could freehand this, but that doesn't go. That's better. It's a little bit double there because I didn't pull it tight enough, but now it is all done. Now I got to just go over that with a Sharpie real quick. All right, I decided that for the rest of the day, I'm going to carve. I'm going to carve this block that you've watched me draw out, and I'm going to just work on the doodle block for the rest of the afternoon after I carve out that block. And then tomorrow, I will start working on the other areas of my, where is it? To-do list, right there. Wow, I'm really close. Let's see, back up. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Okay, so now that I am finished with the little owl dressed as a bat carving, can we get it to focus? Yeah, the owl dressed as a bat carving. I am going to start carving on my doodle block, but I'm going to do it in a relaxed fashion. I'm just going to sit here and carve for the next 2 hours or so without filming, just so I can start getting this close to finish. It is one of my goals this week to finish this up. 4:15 on Tuesday. It's been a while since I talked to you, and I'm excited because guess what? Finished with the doodle block. 100%. I really like this little mountain scene, but I'm all done with the doodle block, which means that next time I get out ink, which is definitely at some point this week, I can pull a proof of this thing. So I'm very excited for that. Very excited for this to be finished, and I can print it. I can print it. Probably gonna sit down and sketch for a little bit more this afternoon, get my other projects planned and ready to go, so I can have something to jump on tomorrow real quick. Yes. I also need to photograph some things, so maybe not sketch, maybe photograph and do some clerical work. Done carving for the day. Spent all day carving. So excited. So I ended up taking pictures and not sketching, but it's the end of the day on Tuesday, and I want to use my dry erase marker to check off the things that I got done today and yesterday. Wednesday. So this morning, I once again made a trip to the post office, and I put everything, all the orders I needed to put in the mail, and then I spent a little bit of time doodling and a cat in my lap, and I couldn't put on the record. But I had a lot of requests for the owl dressed up as a bat to become a t-shirt design, so I sketched that out. I designed it. I'm holding it there just in case I'm too lazy to put it up on the screen. But I designed it a little bit more detailed, a little bit different for a larger t-shirt block rather than just carving it for 2 inches tall. I also ordered some buttons, and that took a good bit of the day actually. It was weird how difficult that was. I was using Illustrator for weird things. I got that figured out, I think, hopefully. And now I'm going to sketch the burger t-shirt block that I would like to carve this week. So I'm going to sketch that right now. It's probably going to be the last thing I do today because it's about 3:30. But it'll take me a minute to get this idea all fleshed out. It's about 2:30 on Thursday, and I woke up this morning and I was tripping over myself in my studio. I didn't know where to start, where to go. So I decided to give myself the morning to do a deep clean of the studio so I could be productive and do work on things. I also wasn't feeling super motivated to be creative, so that's what I did this morning. I got a lot of the stuff off the floor. Let me show you. Walk with me. Had a lot of pieces that were sitting right here on the floor that I put onto the shelf over here. And I straightened up a lot of the bins that were on the bottom that normally you probably wouldn't be able to see. These were all sticking out, sitting long ways. Put them in hot dog style instead of hamburger style, I guess. And then I just organized a lot of stuff. There's still a lot of organization that I need to do. But for now, I'm in a good place and I can work. And what I need to do is transform this area behind me into my letterpress studio so I can print these owls. So I've got all the supplies that I need out that I'll need to print lino cut bat owls, and I cut out my paper months ago, so I'm not going to be doing that today, so I've already got that done. But I'm no expert on any of this, but what I want to show you is that this is an Adana 8.5 antique press. It doesn't have the rollers on it currently. The first thing that I need to do to get this ready to print is to get the... actually, there's a thing I need to do before this. These are basically type high. They are not quite type high. So I need to put a couple sheets of paper on underneath so I get a good impression with these. So first let me put some paper underneath this. Grabbing another one. This one's the Love Elephant, the last piece that I printed up on this press. And I was nice to myself and I wrote, it's got 4 sheets of paper on the back of it to raise it up to the correct height. And that's not any paper, that's cardstock. So it's got 4 sheets of cardstock taped to the back of this. So the first thing I need to do is cut 4 sheets of paper to the same size as this block and tape it to the reverse side of this block. So it's okay if these sheets of paper do not go all the way to the edge of the block, but you don't want them to go past the block because it's going to mess up when you go to lock everything in place. So let's do a little piece of tape on each side to get the general pieces taped down. And then I'll go with a couple full-length pieces of tape. So now that I've got the tape the paper on the back of this block, it is basically type high now, so I'm not going to have an issue printing it. I'm not using it with any handset type at the moment, but if I wanted to in the future, I wouldn't have to re-go and do it. And it helps so I don't have to completely readjust the pressure on my press here. So what I'm going to do now is, like I said, I'm no expert on letterpress, but everything I'm doing and everything I know about letterpress, I know from just working with this press personally and the little bit of research that I've done. This, I believe, is called a chase. And I want my block to be into the center of this chase. I want it to be horizontal. Right about in that position. I don't want it super at the bottom of the block, but I don't want it super high either. So I'm just going to get some pieces of wood that put it into the right position for me. Oh, I didn't leave enough room for all this. And you never want metal on metal. So I'm going to put a piece of wood in between. I don't know why I'm doing that either. There we go. So you want it locked in one way vertically and one way horizontally. So I'm going to take this big piece out. I'm going to try 2 little pieces, see if that gets me any closer. I'm pretty close there. So I am going to call that a success on that side. And then I've got to do the same thing this way. That's when it gets a little bit tougher. Alright, so you don't want any of those. I'm going to stop talking and I'm just going to do it and you're going to see what happens. So I haven't locked anything up quite yet. This is all still free moving, but it's all in there fairly tight. You want to make sure that none of it's overlapping in a way where it's going to get in the way of being locked up. I'm going to move this up a little bit so it doesn't touch those. All right, so I'm just going to do real light turns until it's all locked up evenly. This is called a key. These are called coins. It's like Q-U, I forget exactly how it's spelled, but it's spelled real funny. And that should be locked in there pretty good. I don't want to do it too super tight because then it starts to push the metal outward and it makes it hard to get the chase into the press. But this is perfect. Now I need to get the chase onto the press, which isn't hard. There's these 2 little slots here, boom, boom, and then there's these 2 little nubs on the edge of the chase, and you basically just slide the chase into the sit right there. So now it's in place. So just by kind of looking down on the edges like this, and on the side like this, I made a guess as to where I think the image will print and put a sheet of paper in there. And it's pretty good. I just kind of watch it hit, but it's a little low. I'm going to raise it up slightly. This isn't 100% necessary. This just helps me put the sheet of paper down in the same spot. So I like to put 1 sheet of paper that's the exact same size as what I'm printing on. I think that's close enough. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to give it a good piece of tape on the edges too. So now, I don't know what these are called. I need an X-Acto knife. I am going to put these little doohickeys. These little doohickeys. These help keep the paper in the same spot. This little pointy thing goes underneath the sheet of paper while the 2 little hand holders stay on top of it. And I like to tape these down too, because if you don't, they'll move around all over the place. So I like to go 1 with it and 1 against it. Make sure that that's not hitting anywhere on the block, and it's not. And the other one's going to go like right there. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to score the paper a little bit so I can put the little pokey thing through. I don't want it covering the paper too much. Make sure it doesn't hit the block. It doesn't. And then tape it down. I need to put the rollers on so I can get some ink going here. These rollers are dusty. The rollers just go in this little these little hooks here. There's like spring loaded, so hold it tight. And you can see there's no ink on it yet, but the rollers go up onto the block and then onto this, which is going to have the ink on it. Presses here, and it self-inks itself. That's how this little press works. Now I've got some rubber-based ink, which I hate this can of ink. It was so hard to open. Even when it was brand new, it was just so hard to open. And I always get ink all over my gloves, so I always use like old gloves so I don't have to just throw away a new pair of gloves. See, I got some ink right there on that one. So I got a lot of ink on this one. This one's just going into the trash. This glove I can keep. And this is rubber-based ink. Rubber-based ink is designed to dry quickly on paper, but not dry quickly on whatever you're printing on or with. So it doesn't dry quickly on the plate itself. And I don't need a lot of it. This can of black ink might last me the rest of my life because I don't use the rubber base very often. Just take a little bit there, roll it up with my brayer. And then roll the ink onto the inking disc. Now I don't put too much ink on here. It's hard to get off and off the rollers. So you want to build up the ink slowly. I don't have quite enough. There we go. Now we're feeling good. So now, ink up the rollers and ink up the plate a little bit. Let's see what we got. You'll see this for the first time with me. And there we go. Be who you are. Be who you are. Looks pretty good to me. So I'm just gonna run with that and print the whole edition just like that. I feel like I blocked that window, but I want to show my Adana in the background. So that's how I use my little Adana 8x5 press right there. I'm going to show some little process videos as I go with this. And as a note, you are seeing this a week late. Everything that you see on YouTube, it happened last week. If you want to keep up to the date with what I'm doing for offers like this and be like in the front of the line and guarantee that you get cool stuff from me, follow me on Instagram. That's where I post frequently and daily. So you can follow me there. And then that's where you would have seen this print last week and then the offer to send it an envelope in the mail to me. It's so dark, I gotta block the window. Send an envelope in the mail to me and I'll send you that print. So that's what I'm doing with that to support the post office in trouble at the moment. So yay. Friday is here, and after a well-needed deep clean of my studio yesterday, today is my last chance to do something productive or anything today this week. I printed up all of the little bat owl things yesterday, so those are dry and waiting for the envelopes to come in so I could fill those out. Once again, if you would like one and I still have some left, I'll let you know on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram to see if I have any left, if I got too many. But send a self-addressed stamped envelope to the address down on the screen right there. And I will get one in the mail to you if I still have any left. I only printed like 100 of them, so just make sure I'll send you one if I have one. But this morning, Marty's right here. She's just off camera. You can't see her, so that's what I'm doing. Here, come with me. Come sit here. See, look, she's right here. You don't want to see? You don't want to see? But this morning, I got 2 goals I want to do today. There's a couple things left on my checklist. I never thought I would get everything on my checklist finished this week, but I put them all there just for fun. See how much of it I could get done. But 2 things I want to do this week still are I want to get the 2 t-shirt designs that I got designed this week. I want to get those up onto a board so I can carve them either over the weekend at some point or next week. And I want to get a little bit of a printing session in this afternoon. I got a couple t-shirts that I need to print, and I also still need to proof the doodle block. I'm going to start with getting those 2 t-shirt blocks ready and drawn up onto the board. That is, if Marty will let me. She's quite content at the moment. Look at the face. Prepped and ready to carve. Now for the big project of the week. I've got my press set, I've got my ink out, and I've got the block, the doodle block, here ready to ink for the first time. So let's do it. One of the things I'm interested to see is to see how much of the negative space picks up. I expect a little bit of it to pick up, hopefully not a ton to make it look messy, but some of it is going to pick up, and I'm going to enjoy some parts of it, but maybe hopefully just not, you know, every little bit. Hopefully I carved deep enough. All right, the moment of truth. Let's go. Long day of printing. I printed the 43 doodle block hanging over there. I printed a handful of t-shirts, which you saw. But today is Friday. That means the week is over. I got a lot done on my list. Let's walk over to the list. I can check 2 more things off my list. I printed the doodle block, and yesterday I printed the USPS print, which is the Owlbat print. I didn't do these 4 things, which is fine. I didn't expect to do everything, but those things get to be priority next week. But another week is over, finished in the books, and I am going to call it a day, call it a week. So I will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.